Hello my friends. Today we are going to develop an iPad app based on XGRIDS SDK in order to open and manipulate a 3D Gaussian splatting model. So what is a 3D GS? What is 3D Gaussian splatting? It's a new way to create 3D model very quickly with XGRIDS devices and enhancing the traditional triangle 3D. The 3D Gaussian is much more accurate, much more nice to look, much more realistic, and as you can see, applications are large. You have, of course, geometric. This is what I'm going to show you. But it could also go into smart cities. You have emergency security because for accident or whatever, XGRIDS devices are very quick to operate. Of course, you have cultural tourism and digital twins, emergence, energy and mining, and of course, metaverse, all the 3D gaming and stuff. But what is XGRIDS? So I'm going to show you XGRIDS website, and I'm going to explain you the two main model they have in the product. So the 3D Gaussian splatting that we are going to see was acquired with the Lixel Kitty K1. That is a very nice device, very easy to use, and very affordable. Still, it's a very powerful device with, as you can see, a full 248 megapixel panoramic camera that allow us to acquire a 360 degrees view. We are using the app on an iPhone, on an Android or whatever, a smartphone. This is, of course, upgraded multi-SLAM technology, and with thanks to AI, it creates a very nice 3D model. But it also creates, of course, a 3D cloud point that can be used in AutoCAD or any CAD software or GIS. I'm going to also take the opportunity to present you the latest devices from XGRIDS, that is the XL216, and this is a very, very impressive device. This is the newest devices from XGRIDS. It allows you to scan up to 120 meters, that is very large, quite enough. These devices have 3 cameras, high precision internal navigation, and of course you can also, like the Lixel K1, access to LCC. So this device is the newest and it's really enhanced. The quality is very nice, so you have up to like 2 centimeters or 3 centimeters out of the box. Of course, if you add control points, then you can go under centimeter accuracy. But 2 centimeters out of the box is really, really impressive. You have true-to-life point cloud. I mean, you even without any post-processing, you have a very enhanced and nice point cloud. As you can see here, we have less noise. It's very clean. On the right is the Lixel L2, and it's also very interesting, and this is thanks to AI. You have a very even and delicate point cloud for more accurate measurement. As you can see, we can use RTK or not. It's not mandatory, and you also use the Lixel Go app on your smartphone to manage all the acquisition process. Okay, so this is the last project from XGRIDS, and now I'm going to show you the mandatory stuff to become a developer and to use Unity. So first of all, you need to register as a developer on XGRIDS website. As soon this is done, you will access to all XGRIDS SDK. So you have one for Unity. This is what we are going to study today. But if you rather like Unreal, you also have one. You also, of course, have the LCC Web SDK. So I can show you quickly, for example, the same app that we are going to study, but done with WebGL. And this is also very nice. This was done based on the SDK. So as you can see, we can easily manipulate the 3D Gaussian model. We can rotate left, right, smoothly. And here I added some elements. So for example, you want to see the first image, you just can click and this will open HD photos of the monument. We can also go to another part and same, we can just open the picture and close it. Of course, at any point I can just manipulate the 3D Gaussian. As you can see, this is very nice, it's beautiful. We can go to the movie of how we have done this model. So as you can see, this is very quick. So this is the key one. And you can see Sobanai operating the device. And you see, you just walk as normal and everything is in the box. So this is the WebGL solution. And now we'll go back to our demonstration of today, our little training. So we are going to explain how to do. So globally, what do you need? I repeat, you need to have an XGRIDS device to create an LCC. You have to register as a developer to access the SDK. You have to download the SDK. You have to download Unity. I'm using a Mac, so you need on a Mac Apple developing ecosystem. So what does it mean? You mean it's mandatory to have Xcode, and I also recommend to install Visual Studio for C#, as Unity is working with C#. Okay, so now we are going I'm going to show you a bit Unity and explain how to create an app. So let's dive into this. Okay, so this is Unity. As you can see, we have our model. So we have the main camera. Let me try to show you this a bit better. Like this, perfect. So you have the main camera, you have the LCC manager, and you have the LCC renderer. I created a canvas, meaning that we can have some elements. So I created 2 joysticks that we will use to manipulate the model. A close button, why not? And we can also switch from 3D.js to point, and the logo of my company, of course. So this is Unity. Again, you need. I really recommend to use Visual Studio for the scripting. So here you have the 2 main scripts that are given with the SDK, but of course you will need to change them. You also have to understand that by default the SDK is working with the old input the old Unity input system. So here I changed that. I changed that to the new one. So I'm going to show you my assets, and you can see that it's mandatory to create some inputs with the new system. So what do you need? You need the touch for the iPad because it's a touch screen technology. So in the touch, I just created two new assets, two new actions. The touch position to manipulate the 3D model with the touch, and a touch press that will let me know when the screen is touch, to record the position, the actual position. Then we have two joysticks, the left one that I'm using to control the displacement, or let's say the translation of the model. So you just need to readjust it into the binding as a left stick, a gamepad, and this is very quick with Unity. Thanks to Unity, it's very quick to get a gamepad-like joystick. And then after, I have the look. So this is the rotation in my right stick. Same as the left one. It's a gamepad binding. And then I also have the mouse because you can have a keyboard with an iPad. I could also add all the displacement keys like W, A, S, and so on. But as I'm using the joystick, I don't need them, okay? Don't forget to save when you do any change, okay? So then you have to create the script, the classes of your buttons and assets. So this is done automatically thanks to Unity. And we can just double click on it. And this will open Visual Studios. That is very nice to use because you also have the chat with GitHub. If you have any GitHub account, you can just work with an AI and GitHub. You have a few like sentence or time every month. So here I have my camera controls, but let's start with the LCC renderer. So the LCC renderer is the main script where you will, of course, create the classes, and this is given by XGRID, okay? So the XGRID original don't have all these functionalities, but it's already working if you are using, as I told you before, the old input system. So here, what did I change? I'm just loading the file. I will explain you the little trick for iPad. Then after on the load, I'm enhancing 200 meters is too much. I will reduce to 100 meters. It's enough. 3 million splats is quite huge, but if you have a strong iPad, you can really do it. And then, of course, in the render, we need to do a few things. So first of all, here in the start, you need to explain that the platform is iOS. This is in case you want to test the app on your computer. You can leave it as a PC. Okay. Then after, I also have, this function is given by the SDK. So I just change it because I want an on-off button like. So this is the change of the texture you see, of the 3GS to points. So here the renderer switch mode go to the points. And we apply 2D texture rainbow that is also provided by XGRID. And then if I'm already on, I switch to the 3D.js again. Okay. So here we have, and I'm calling the 3GS function here to switch back to 3D.js. This function, I don't use them, and I just added a close function because it's quite useful to be able to quit the app, okay? And this is to change the camera setup. I don't use it, okay? And then the most important is inside here. Because we are using the new Unity input system, you need to create the classes, as I showed you just before. And this is my camera operate, where I have all my buttons, my joystick, and all my behaviors. And then here This is also was provided more or less by the the XGRIDS SDK. I just changed a few speed, rotation speed, and so on. Here, this is also what is mandatory to have. So this is the M transform that is pointer to the object, and then we have here the camera controls. On enable, you need to link the functionalities from your inputs into the camera operates C# script. Okay, so this is what I have done here. You can see that we have the touch mode, the touch move, the camera rotate. This is all the function that the assets or the joystick or the touch and so on will call. Then we need to liberate them at the end, of course. At the start, I'm just using my objects, so my M transform that will do all the translation of the camera because we are manipulating the camera, okay? And so what is important is that as we are using joystick, you need to have that into the update. The update is every frame, okay? It's called by frame. And what you have here, you need to read the camera control logistic to the vector. This is the input, okay? So this is the camera read value from the joystick read values from the operating joysticks. If it's 0, it means we don't use it, so the in-use joystick is false. And then we continue. We have here the rotation, okay? So I just want a pitch and a yaw, more or less, because I don't want to go to weird, strange behaviors, so I'm trying to control. I also had a control on the pitch, but I stopped it because it was not really useful. And here we have the debug to help us to understand. And the last but not the least, here is the rotation. So we are using a matrix rotation, and with the Euler mathematic algorithm. So we are just giving him the new pitch and the new yaw. The pitch is the nose of the airplane, meaning going down or up, and the yaw is the rotation on the Z, so meaning left and right, okay? And then we also have the movements, also the same. We are taking the inputs from the joystick. And here I'm just doing, if it's bigger than 0 on the X, it means that we have to move right. So this is the M transform right. Here we have to move right but negative because we want to go left. Same as the forward, moving forward, and moving backward is a negative forward, okay? So this is a very simple movement, but it's enough to manipulate the 3D Gaussian model, the LCC. And then here we have a timing script to have some nice movement. And of course, we have the move touch. This is moving by finger in the iPad. So this is mandatory to not to be able to do it same time as you use the joystick. Otherwise, you will also apply the touch to the screen. So we don't want that. If we are using the joystick, we just do a return, so meaning that we don't go into the function. And the function is quite easy too. We have the touch now, the new position. Okay, I'm reading the value again. And we do the translation, the offset meaning from the touch now and the touch start. The touch start is created with the button first creation. So it's here. This is very important to have it because if you don't have that, you see the touch press, and I'm starting when the start touch is not when it's touching, when start touch. This is important because we need to be quick in order to prevent any touch movement if we are using the joystick, okay? And also we cannot move or translate the LCC if we don't have the start touch and the actual touch, okay? Position, meaning to do the translation, of course, okay? So this is more or less, you see, it's quite simple. And let's go back to the LCC renderer, where we have all the button, apply, the open, and so on. And now let's go back to the main screen here. So as you can see that we have the move joystick, we have the look joystick, and the move joystick is linked on the screen stick, okay, as a gamepad, okay, and same for the right. And then we have the button close, and the button close is a button action, so meaning that here we have on click, we are looking for the function into LCC renderer on close, okay, and here we have the function, the button for to switch from 3DGS to point. Same, we have the LCC on renderer point click, okay? And then we just have an image for my logo, and all this is inside the canvas that allow you to have any assets, any image on the top of the screen, okay? So now we are going to go to the iPad, and I'm going to, first of all, of course, we need to compile. So important stuff. But this is, of course, explained in the very good documentation of XGRID. However, let's show you that. So you need into the player to be, of course, based on iOS, okay? And what is important here is because we are using the new input system, you need to change it here, okay? If you want to stick to the basic SDK of XGRID, you have to use both or the old one, okay? This is mandatory, otherwise it will not work, okay? Then after, you also need to go to the build profile. Into the build profile, you need to switch to iOS. By default, it will be macOS because I'm on a Mac. But you need to switch to the iOS, okay? Nothing much to change here. And then you can just build, or not build and run, but build, okay? So I can show you. So I already have some coding here. It's not very important. It will be a replace. I have to save my app. So now it's compiling with the C# scripting for Xcode, okay? So this is also the beauty of Unity. You don't have to be handling all type of outputs. It could be a PC, it could be whatever, it could be, and here in our case, it's for my Xcode. So you need to open Xcode. As soon as Xcode is open, I will show you what to do. So what do you need? You need a few things. The first one, you need to have a developer account into Apple. If you don't have an Apple developing account, you cannot compile. Okay, it's not mandatory to pay as I'm doing because I'm an Apple developer, but you can, in this case, just have a trial. You can compile. Okay, it's not refreshing. Okay, so you see, no, I have to choose my team, my developing team. This is the bundle identifier. It's not at this stage, it's not mandatory to have the official one, but if you plan to send the app to the Apple Store, you need all this to be clean, and that's all, okay? So when all this is done, you can just compile, and this will create the iPad app. So I'm going to take the iPad and I'm going to show you on my screen what I'm doing on my iPad, okay? So now, as you can see, it's compiling, sorry, and this is mostly done. So now let's switch to the iPad. As you can see, the Unity device is open. So I recognize we have the button, close and to switch. And here you see I'm using my finger to move. So now I want to rotate. So I'm going to use my right stick to rotate. okay? I want to see a bit on the top. The same, I'm using my look joystick, so meaning my right joystick. And of course, I want to move a bit forward. And here I'm using my left joystick. So easy, simple. Here you have an LCC iPad app done in a few, let's say in a few hours. As you can see, it's very smooth. We can switch from 3DGS to point. And here again, I can just rotate, show you a bit around. And you see, this is the small device. But even with the small device, we have point on the tower, okay? So this means this one is limited to 40 meters, but still, it's very impressive, and this is thanks to the AI. We have all the building close by, okay? And this is Le Monument aux Morts in Phnom Penh. This is done for the Cambodian soldier dead into the First World War. And just behind, as you can see here, the white building is the French embassy in Phnom Penh. So let's go move a bit and try to see it. As you can see, my displacement is smooth and nice. Okay, so this is the French embassy here, just in the background. And of course, I can use also the screen touch at any point to manipulate my view. We could also orbit, well, I mean, it's up to you to develop what you want. But globally, this is very easy to do. In a few hours, of course, you have to have a minimum skills or knowledge of developing, but it's very quick thanks to the SDK provided by XGRID. Okay, so this is an iPad app done with the XGRID SDK. And let's close my application. And you can see that now, again, we go back to the training. So, to sum up, what do you need to create an iPad? So, you need to install or to download. First of all, you need to download. Let's go back to the website. You need to download the Unity SDK, okay? So last one is 0.9.6. And inside here, you also have all the documentation. I didn't show you, but let's go to the documentation. So you have the quick start, the mobile quick start, and then of course you have all the references that you can use, all the function provided with the LCC SDK. Whatever you want to develop, it will be inside here, okay? So this is what you need. Then after, of course, you need to have Unity. So you need to install Unity. And in Unity, you will have provided by XGRID, you will have a sample. Okay, this is what I've used to create my own app. Okay, and then you will also have to create, as I told you before, a camera control. Okay, with all the touch, the joystick or the mouse, whatever you want to use for development. You will need to create the classes, okay? It's automatically done thanks to Unity. So here you can change the name to have something a bit more logical with what you want to do. And then when you have all this done, you will be able to use whatever you need. The class created by Unity is really nice. You don't need to touch that. That's only the links between your joystick, your touch, or your buttons, and the LCC renderer and the camera operates. Camera operates is the most important part, because it's inside here that you will add all the new functionality that you want to add. You will enhance the basic functionality that are provided by the SDK. And inside the renderer, you will add all your buttons, the interface, the action, the switch point to 3D Gaussian splatting, and whatever, the close, the open, and so on. So I will give you the last, but not the least, tips. The Unity SDK for, let's go to the, here. So you will understand that on an iPad need to, how can I explain that? An iPad need, or iOS can't, let's go this way. iOS cannot, as Android, open a complete folder based on one file, okay? So for example here, you need to open the Meta LCC, that is the main object that will, it's a file that will give all the indication for the SDK to open all the mandatory files. So this is an example, you see. So the LCC is not the binary. The binary is the bin. This is where you have all the 3D GS. But the LCC is a text file that give you all the information about the project you are opening. In Mac OS, in Windows, or even in Android, you can just give the file and it will access to all the other files in the folder. Unfortunately, this doesn't work with iOS, as they explain here. So the little trick is to use a local server on your iPad, okay? You can download free web server for iOS, and you need to use this server. I will show you now in Xcode. You need to use this one. I will show you here in the LCC renderer. As you can see, I'm using a local address, a local web address, and as this is a streaming object, okay, it will allow Unity on iOS to open all the mandatory binary files that are needed to manipulate and open the LCC model. Okay, so you can use whatever you want. In my case, I will show you which one I downloaded and installed. I have been testing a few different ones. I think this one is the best. So let's go back to my iPad, and I will show you which one is the best for me. After, you can choose whatever you want. So you see, this is here, the Pocket server. And the Pocket server is very, very nice because it allows you just to create a very simple server. It's mandatory to have here the port for HTML basic, okay? So 8080, okay? The rest you can just leave it as you want. And if I just go to my home, you can see that you have different type. You just choose static host, and then you set up your host. If I stop my server, no, the app will not work, of course. And when you create your server, you just need to indicate the folder where you have all the Unity stuff, okay? So if I go to a web page here, and you can see that I will just copy my address from my server. So very easy, just copy, okay? No paste. And you see that now I'm accessing my folders. So in reality, I have 3 different models, but we can, well, let's change one, okay? Let's change one. So I go back to my Unity, and sorry, into the renderer, and here I will just change this to the folder, to the Sofitel. Sofitel is a test that we have done for the Sofitel Hotel in Phnom Penh. Okay, I just change the name here. Need to save. Okay, on my iPad, I can just leave it like this for the moment. We need to compile, so let's go back to my local desktop. Okay, so I will do a new compiling, just easy and smooth. So it will, of course, exactly last time replace. No, it's compiling. Okay, so we had a little error. So, oh yeah, this one is because it was closed. So let's do it again. It will compile smoothly. Okay, almost done. Now we can just open Xcode again. Okay. Now, exactly the same, we need to select my team and compile. Okay, nothing much to see here. So let's go back to the iPad. And you will see that soon the LCC viewer will be compiled. Now it's loading, okay. Opening. And tada, we have a new LCC. Okay, so this was done for an exhibition as a little test, okay, to show that we can do like a very quick scanning. This was done in a few minutes. I mean, maybe 5-10 minutes. Just walk inside, as you can see, and then we can just navigate into the booth, into the exposition, and have a look on all this beautiful painting done by an artist in Cambodia. Okay. So this is another example of what we can do. Okay, very easy. I will repeat. This was also done with the Lixel key one. And it took like, yes, maybe 10 minutes to scan everything inside here. Very smoothly, very nicely. Okay, and now we can just enjoy and look all these beautiful paintings. Okay. So this is the art gallery in 3D GS. Just enjoy and visit the gallery. Let's go and see the last painting on the wall here. And this is the art gallery. So let's close and finish this tutorial. So we have seen how to download the SDK, how to install it, how to do a little Unity app very quickly, and to compile it to my iPad and do different tests. And you can see that the little trick for iOS is to use a local server. Of course, you could also use internet server, a web server, but this means that you will need an internet connection. Here I don't need any internet connection. My LCC are locally installed on my iPad. And thanks to a Pocket server, very easy to just change my IP address, my local IP address, and to get my LCC loaded. Thank you very much for your time. See you next time. Bye-bye.